Today, as Emily said, we're talking about joy, which is the fourth candle of the Advent wreath, and we hope that will be our lifelong experience, that we will stay in joy all the time. And the idea is that if you keep going on this path, you'll end up in joy. That you'll come from a deficit through neutrality into joy. And it's a promise of the New Testament that at some point, if you stay on the path, you will awaken into joy. And the prospect of this is what begins to pull you. It's in part what begins to pull you even after you get to neutral. You know, sometimes you have high experiences in meditation, but most of it is it's an awakening in a very slow and subtle way. And I haven't flown yet. However, I don't put it beyond me, really. Nor do I put it beyond you, that we might become miraculous in our ability to do things that people don't consider normal at this point, when we shift our attention from being the body and the personality to being our divine nature. That when we come from this tight little bundle of an idea of who we are wrapped up in this tight little bundle of who we are. We think we are the personality and the mind, personality and the body. And the mind is always feeding this idea. We have really shrunk the identity that we could take. And as such, then you live in a world of ups and downs, and it's very easy to get caught in the underneath side of that thing, where you don't feel great joy, you don't feel great love, where it's not transcended, and you're vulnerable, and you're fragile, and there's nothing that's going to make you God if you are this body. And so the real trick is to wake up to your divine nature somehow, to flip it, and to wake up to who you really are, so that this is not who you say you are. You become that. And the self it's talking about is with a capital S. It is the part that doesn't distinguish so much between it and the divine. It is one and the same. More of you is invisible than what is visible. You are more than your personality. You're more than your body. And if you can hear it, then you go looking for the experiences to confirm it, like the shepherds go looking for the babe. And if you're wise like Mary, you ponder it in your heart until it becomes true for you. That woozy state, you know, you're neither asleep nor awake, you're kind of half and half. And it dawned on me in that tub that I was not alone. That something had been with me my whole life. And that something, the only word that really came to me at the time was it was consciousness. Now, most of us have consciousness tightly bracketed between our ears. And it's like the thinking brain seems to be defined as our consciousness. But there's I think, what this experience was saying, essentially what I've heard said many other places, it's just kind of like I pondered it in my heart. Now it just kind of struck me like real. It's this idea that consciousness is everywhere. It's really the basis of everything. It is watching the I that I keep calling myself, the personality that keeps identifying with the body, that ego. And the ego in the Course in Miracles means personality more than it means a particular part of the personality. Ego is the I that you say you are. This ego is accompanied by consciousness all the time. The thing that dies, the personality, the body, that dies is not the end of you, because that was just an aspect, a portion, and a small portion at that, of consciousness in general, that you really are. So this is kind of brings you great joy. This brings you peace. This brings you the chance to love without fear. If you identify with consciousness, then you become, as Jesus became, identified with the big self, with the Christ. The universal is more of who you are than who you have claimed to be at this point. We have all been swaddled into a tight, small package. But the part of us which is invisible, which is grander than that, is really more of who you are, because it's more of who you are than this little piece. Shifting your identity from small to grand, from the little, from the ego, from the body to the divine. This is what spiritual unfolding is.